Welcome back, everybody. As promised, I wanted to go through some of the documentation that's going to be required in order to bring your car over into Mexican territories, and I'll go through some of that paperwork now. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to go to, actually the best resource I found for this kind of information is mexpro.com. It's mexpro.com. And if you dig enough through that site, you're going to find a lot of great information on coming across the border and things like that. So on mexpro.com, if you'll find a link for vehicle importation permit, and you're going to look for INM, and it's going to be Segos, and it's going to be to bring your vehicle in. The logo looks like this. It's not focusing properly, but that's Segos, and this is INM logo. So this particular form here is your pre-authorization once you've completed the online application. Now, I found that Google Translate didn't work very well with the site when you were clicking through it, so you may run tandem windows side by side so that you can have the standard window on one side and the translate window on the other side, so you can type in what it is that you're reading, so you can make sure you get the right information in there. When you're applying for that, you're going to need your serial number, your VIN number, as well as some other information, possibly your if your vehicle's financed, and the year and make and model of your car, of course, and stuff like that. Once you've submitted that, they send you this. This is a pre-authorization for vehicle importation. They're going to send you that, and you're going to get that. You're going to be able to print that right from the site. Now, once you've done that, they're going to mail you. Now, you have to do this up to 7 days in advance. Luckily, I found this 8 days in advance, so I was lucky. They came in 2 or 3 days via courier, so it was pretty fast. But they're going to send you this document. Now, this is actually missing the portion I have to stick on my car, of course, because it's on my car. This is what the full permit looks like. Now, make sure you get this. I would highly recommend getting this before you leave home, because apparently this takes 3 or 4 hours to get at the border if you're going to do that. I was at the border for no more than half an hour, and I'll get back into that in just a minute. But then what you're going to need to do is, once you actually get this, you have to send this back signed to them. You're going to have to scan it and send them back a copy, along with some other information, like you're going to need a notarized letter from your finance company if your vehicle is financed. Like this is from Volkswagen Finance, because my GTI is financed through them, and that's a notarized letter stating that it's okay for me to bring my car into Mexican territories. Now, when I was going through the application process for the vehicle importation permit, there was an option to select AXA insurance as my insurance for coming into Mexico, because Canadian and US insurance does not cover you when you come into Mexico. So it wasn't very expensive. I think it was about 70 or 80 bucks for 7 days or so. This is my insurance document. So basically they send you that, and I've got $1 million of coverage for theft, collision, vandalism, and stuff like that. So liability, of course. So that's all there, and you can print that right from the site once you purchase it. Now, let's go on from here. I have a copy of my bill of sale from when I bought my GTI, just for a bit of insurance, to make sure that I had that documentation in case it was asked for me. The next thing I have is Canadian government contacts. These are all the embassies in Mexico. It doesn't hurt to have them. I haven't used them, but if you're American, of course, you're going to need American contacts. But good idea to have contacts for all the embassies of your particular country. Now, I purchased travel insurance through CAA. It's the same as AAA in the States, but I have $5 million of health coverage for 40 bucks. So it was pretty inexpensive. Always a good idea to have when you're in a foreign country. The next thing you're going to want is 3 copies of each piece of ID. So I've got my Ontario vehicle registration, and I've got my passport and my driver's license. You're also going to want to keep a copy of those hidden somewhere else, maybe in your car or in your luggage, but that's what I've done as well. Just as a side note, if you're coming into Mexico in this area, Mexico City has certain laws about when you can drive and when you cannot drive in Mexico City. For example, my plate number ends in 3, it's no FX3, so I can't drive on, I think it's Wednesdays and Sundays. This particular permit I applied online for, and it allows me to drive as a tourist 7 days a week. So if you're going into Mexico City, be aware of what the rules are, and you may need to get something like this as well. I probably won't end up in Mexico City anyway, but I wanted to get that just to make sure. This is a letter from my insurance agent, just to just as documentation that I'm allowed to bring the car into the U.S. Probably not required, but just a good idea to have anyway. By the way, this is R. Robertson Insurance Company. They're near Yorkdale Mall on Bridgeland Avenue. They're a great insurance company. I deal with them. I deal with Greg Robertson there. They've been great. Then I've also got my insurance policy from Ontario as well, so not a bad idea to have. Then I've got receipts from recently purchased electronics. I recently purchased a laptop and a Garmin Nuvi navigation unit, and I wanted to make sure that I wasn't going to pay duty coming from Mexico back into the US, so I've got proof that I bought those in Canada before I left. I've also got a list of all my hotel bookings. This is from all of the ones in the US and in Mexico, just proof for at the border, just in case you have questions. The more documentation you have, the less suspicious they are, I think, of course. My intentions are normal, of course, but of course they've got people traveling across that aren't. So good idea to have lots of documentation in your binder if you're going to make one like this, and never a bad idea to have too much documentation. And that's pretty much it. If you guys have any questions, you can always, oh, there was one more thing. When you cross the border, you're gonna need to get something that looks like this. It's called a tourist card or an MIF, multiple immigration form. FMM, sorry. This can only be done at the border. I tried to get this at the Mexican consulate in Toronto, but they don't do it there anymore. So you're gonna have to get one of these. It does cost a nominal amount. I can't remember how much it was, but it wasn't very expensive. But anyway, you do this at the border. When you do it, it's at the same place that you would do your vehicle importation permit. That's one of the things I wasn't aware of. So when I went there, I had some guy get in my car and I had to pay him $20 to take me to that area. It was a little disconcerting, but it worked out okay. Anyway, so I got that at the same place. I went to line 1, line 2, and line 4 to get this because I already had this documentation. If I didn't have this, I'd have to go through all 4 steps, and apparently that takes quite a long time. One other thing I want to mention about this is that I had to leave a $400 deposit. Vehicles 2007 and above need a $400 deposit. The deposit does vary depending on the year of your car. When you go back across the border, you need to bring them the receipt and this information so they can refund your $400. If you don't do that, you lose your money, so make sure you do that. This importante note is in Spanish completely, so I had my wife actually translate it on Google Translate for me. Good thing I read it because it talks about the fact that you have to make sure that you go and do that. So don't forget about that if you do bring your car across. That's pretty much it, I guess. If you guys have any questions, you can always email me at iann@vwdirect.ca. Thanks for watching as always, and talk to you soon. Bye-bye.